welcome to Vijetha Study Circle. In this video, in next few minutes, we are going to discuss about the Human Development Report. Very recently, the United Nations Development Program has released the Human Development Report. And the Human Development Report measures the life expectancy at birth rate, the average education level of the country, and the standard of the living of the people based on the gross national product. So in this video, we are going to see the details of Human Development Report, what it actually means and how it can be measured, what are the different variants considered by the Human Development Report, what is the India's performance when we compare it one with the world nations. So let's quickly get started the video. Human Development Report. The Human Development Report, which was released by the United Nations Development Program, it releases by the United Nations Development Program, and the Human Development Report, which was released by the United Nations Development Program in the year 2021-22, the India rank was slipped from 130 in 2020 to 132 in 2022. So we actually slipped our ranking from earlier 132 today 132, and not only India, if we consider the majority of the nations, overall in the global scenario, the HDA score has fallen down. It is due to the COVID-19 impact. So the India also has slipped around 2 rankings in the Human Development Report. What is actually this Human Development Report? If we see the historical background of Human Development Report, this report was first released in the year 1990. Since that time, the United Nations Development Program, which is famously referred as UNDP, is responsible for releasing this report regularly. But initially in the year 1990, it is actually developed by 2 scientists, that is the Amartya Sen and Mahbub ul Haq. These are the 2 people who actually developed this Human Development Report, and later on the United Nations Development Program has taken the responsibility to release this report regularly. And what are the indexes can be taken into consideration to calculate the Human Development Index? Under the Human Development Index, the life expectancy at birth rate is one of the indicator, and along with that, the expected years of schooling and mean years of schooling are other indicators. The gross national income is another indicator. What is mean by life expectancy at birth? For every country, based on its conditions, whether it is a societal condition, whether it is a political scenarios, whether it is the economical performance of that country, what are the inequalities existed in that country, based on all these issues, the life expectancy at birth rate can be given for all the nations together. And in the Human Development Index, to calculate what is the ranking of the different nations, the life expectancy at birth rate is one of the indicator to be taken. Along with that, the education is another important indicator the Human Development Report takes into consideration. Under the education, the expected years of schooling and mean years of schooling, it takes into consideration. Along with that, the gross national income. What is mean by gross national income? The gross national income, the important thing to be noticed here is the national. The nationality is matters here. When we calculate the gross national income, we take the value of the goods and services produced by all the Indian nationals into consideration. That means the GNI, the gross national income, takes the value of all the production of Indian nationals together, irrespective of the boundary or irrespective of the territory they are living. So the Human Development Report considers these indicators and it releases the regular reports of the country. And let's see what are the 2022 highlights of the report. There is a drop in the life expectancy, that is in the global scenario also, as we have already discussed. All the indicators were fall down. In the life expectancy also there is a fall from 72.8 years and an average life expectancy in 2019 to 71.4 years in 2021. But overall, if we see the world scenario, European states were the best performers. Among that, the Switzerland got the first rank with the 0.962 as a range. While considering the Human Development Index, based on the life expectancy at birth rate, based on the expected years of schooling and mean years of schooling, based on the gross national income, whatever we have seen just now, based on all these indicators, they give the nations in the scale in between of 0 to 1 scale. If you are performing near to 1 scale, that is you are having a good ranking, you are having a good performance in the Human Development Report. In that scale, the Switzerland has fallen at the 0.962 scale, which is actually performed the best in the last year, which has ranked the first. After the Switzerland, there was a Norway. After that, it's a Iceland, Denmark. And some of the question papers may be asked what is the first ranker in the Human Development Report, then our answer is straight at Switzerland. In some of the question paper, they will ask by giving the different nations and ask us to arrange them in the order from the best performer to the least performers. At that time, there is a chance of asking the top 3 to 4 nations. So we have given here the Switzerland is the topmost ranking nation, followed by we have the Norway, then the Iceland, then Denmark and the Sweden. And if we come to the Asian nations, in the Asian nations at 73 ranking, the Sri Lanka has emerged as the best performer in the Indian subcontinent. Maybe we all know that the Sri Lanka was under crisis, but still it has emerged as one of the best performer in the Human Development Index when we see in the Asian region. After the Sri Lanka, then in the Asian region, the China is the next best performer with the 79 rank. After that, it's a Bhutan with 127 rank. Then the Bangladesh with 129 rank. Then we all know the India is at 132 rank. Then the Nepal at 143. Then the Pakistan at 161. At times, the question papers focus under the Asian regions, the best performer in the Human Development Report. So there is a chance even to ask the questions in the Asian region also. So we have to remember the Sri Lanka is the best performer in the Asian region with the 73 rank, and the least one is Pakistan with the 161 rank. As usual, the India rank we must remember. So in this way, there is a chance of asking the questions in the competitive examinations. Let's see what is the detailed Indian performance in the Human Development Report. If we see the Human Development Index, the India HDI value is stood at 0.633. As I have already discussed, the Human Development Report always can be given in the in between scale of 0 to 1. So we are at the range of 0.633 range in 2021 Human Development Report. But if we see in the 2020, we were at 642. Ours was 0.642 in the last year, but we have fallen from 0.642 to 0.633 in 2021. But when we see the world in 2021, the average performance of the world is 0.732 in 2021. That means there is a possibility to ask the question in this way: what is the world average of Human Development Index in last year? Then our answer is 0.732. There is a chance even to ask what is the India's value in 2021. Then we have to answer it as 0.633, and definitely there is a decline in India value and even the ranking from 2020 to 2021. So there is a decline from 0.642 to 0.633. Then what about the life expectancy? In 2021, the India life expectancy at birth rate was recorded at 67.2 years. That means our life expectancy at birth rate is 67.2 years. It is very important to remember all these things because many of the examinations give much of the importance to the Human Development Index. What is the expected years of schooling in India? That is 11.9 years is the expected years of schooling, but the mean years of schooling is only 6.7 years. The gross national income, on the other hand, if we consider it at the per capita, what is mean by per capita? It is per head. If we divide the gross national income divided by each head, that is the total Indian nationals, whoever is having the Indian citizenship, if we divide that one per head, it is actually $6,590. $6,590. It is the per capita gross national income of India. Per capita is nothing but per head. So these are the three things, that is the life expectancy, the schooling. Life expectancy is nothing but the health. The life expectancy is nothing but the health indicators. The schooling is here, we talk it as education. And the gross national income, on the other hand, is considered as standard of living, the standard of living. So in all these three indicators, this is the performance of India in the recent report. And there is another report released by the UNDP, that is Gender Inequality Index. In that, the India has ranked at 122. Actually, it is not the part of Human Development Report, it is altogether separate. The Gender Inequality Index report also can be released by United Nations Development Program, and India ranked 122 in the Gender Inequality Index. What is this Gender Inequality Index? It is the difference between the men and women performance in the country. When we take the health of the men and women in the country, and when we take the labor participation of the comparison between the men and women, and along with that the empowerment, including the seats enjoyed by the men and women in the parliamentary seats also. That means in the Gender Inequality Index, the health is one indicator, the labor participation is another indicator, the empowerment is another indicator. So in this way, for every country, the United Nations Development Program calculate what is the inequality index in the gender basis. In that index, the India has ranked at 122 in the recent report. So the Human Development Index and the Gender Inequality Index, we have the different type of rankings for the India. And what about the Inequality Adjusted Human Development Index? If we see the India in the 2019, we have the 0.537 range of Inequality Adjusted Human Development Index. Normally, the Human Development Index, we have seen it is based on the health, the education and the standard of living criteria. But at times we read in the newspaper, there is an Inequality Adjusted Human Development Index also. What it means by? Here, the inequality can be considered in the sense of economic inequality. We have just now seen the Gender Inequality Index also. That is can be considered based on the gender differences, that is the men and women differences. Here, the inequality adjusted is on in the sense of economic inequality, that is the rich and poor differences. Because if you consider any nation, for every country, there is a target to reduce the differences either in the societal inequality or in the economic inequality perspective. The economic inequality cannot be widened by giving the opportunities only to the rich people. We must focus on erasing the inequality in between rich and the poor differences in the country. So the Inequality Adjusted Human Development Index try to calculate the human development after adjusting this rich and poor differences. So let's see how this can be done. What happens to Human Development Index when it is adjusted for inequality? That is actually matters. If we take the India, if we adjust the Human Development Index with the inequality, it actually falls by 25%. And the income share held by poorest 40% of the population. If we take the poorest 40% of the population in the bottom line in the economic inequality, in India, they actually held the 20% of the income. The least 40% of the poor people are holding the 20% of the income. But if we see the income share held by the richest 1%, only 1% of the population who are rich enough, they are actually holding the 22% of the income in the country. So we can see how unequal we are in the economical perspective. So the United Nations Development Program even releases the Inequality Adjusted Human Development Index just to give such type of alert to all the nations. It is very important to erase this difference of income holding capacity of the people also. If we see the world data parallelly, if we adjust the Human Development Index in the world perspective, it falls by nearly 19%. And in the world, on an average, the least 40% of the poor people holds nearly 18% of the wealth, and the topmost 1% held the 17% of the wealth. The parallel China, if we see the China, it falls by 15%, and it is the 17% held by the poorest of the 40%, and nearly 14% is held by the richest 1%. And the topmost performer, that is the Switzerland, if we see here also we can see there is a inequality in the country. If we adjust the Human Development Index of Switzerland also, it also falls by the 7% in that Human Development Report. That means the topmost performing country also is suffering from the inequality in the country. So in this way, the Inequality Adjusted Human Development Index gives the economical inequality in the country. And if we see India performance, the Inequality Human Development Index value is 0.537. It is 0.537, that is 16.8% overall loss. So in this way, the United Nations Development Program takes the responsibility for calculating the Human Development Report regularly. So in this video, some of the important points to be noted is in which year the Human Development Report was first time released, and Amartya Sen and Mahbub ul Haq were the responsible persons, and they were the first persons who attempted to create this Human Development Report, and which organization regularly released the Human Development Report, and what is the India rank in that, and what is the world nations rank, and which country is the best performer in the Asia, which country is the best, which country is the least performer, and in the Human Development Report, what are the indicators to be considered by the United Nations Development Program, and what is the Inequality Adjusted Human Development Report, and what is the India's performance in the under that. Along with that, I have even given what is the Gender Inequality Index also, and its ranking also for the India. So I hope you all are enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.